And as I look around at the faces, I realize that you've come from far, you've come from near. It's wonderful to see you. Earlier this afternoon, I had reason to reflect very carefully on where we are as a people, because I was listening with interest to the Prime Minister of Dominica, and he said, anybody who wants to criticize him is really criticizing God. He said that this afternoon at Lindo Park at the opening and the handing over ceremony for the first phase of the hospital. The uncompleted first phase. He says anybody who criticizes him is criticizing God, because God is the one that is telling him what to do. So when he went to Pidit Savan and he told the people there to throw hot water on us if we come on his step, he's telling you, the Christian people of Dominica, God is the one who told him to do that. So don't criticize him for wanting to throw hot water on people. Criticize God. He waited for 15 years. 2004, he had an arrangement which he negotiated with the Chinese for a hospital. Dominica's people, healthcare has been going further and further down the drain with every passing year under his watch. He had a commitment from the Chinese to build a hospital, one of the 4 pillar projects they call it. But he found a way to have a state palace built with the same Chinese money come ahead of a hospital for the people of Dominica. And today, 15 years later, we're seeing the opening of the first phase. But I ask you the question, the phase was opened this afternoon. Can you go to the hospital tomorrow morning and use the medical lab? The answer is no. I am making these observations so you're very clear in your head that this leader that we call Scarrett is not interested in people. He's interested in himself. And everything that is important to people, he finds a way to frustrate it from happening. Electoral reform, important for the people of Dominica to have a reliable backbone for their democracy in Dominica. And he, for 11 years, has ensured that we cannot get a clean voters list and we cannot have ID cards for voting as very basic elements of electoral reform in Dominica. And we say to him again tonight, we want electoral reform, we want a clean list, and we want ID cards for voting before the next general election. This country belongs to all of us, and it is what the majority of us want that must be done. Not what one dictator intends that is going to carry. We want electoral reform, and no dictator or wannabe dictator is going to prevent us from getting electoral reform before the next election. That's number one. The vital interests of the people come first at all times. So he's telling us, when we criticize him for not giving us electoral reform, we're criticizing God. You see the dilemma that we have in this country of Christians of good conscience? You see the dilemma we have? A man is doing all sorts of evil. All sorts of evil. And he has the gall to tell you now, he is doing that. But don't criticize him, criticize God. Because God is the one who is causing him to do that. He said it this afternoon at Lindo Park. And then we have been asking about our money, our $1.2 billion. It does not belong to me or to you individually. It belongs to all of us. Not who is red, not who is blue, not who is green. It belongs to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And every citizen of the Commonwealth of Dominica must be concerned and must have an interest in where that money is and how we recover the money to do the work of the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And that is why we are here tonight in these large numbers. Let me explain something to you. If this man had cared about Dominica, do you think he would have entered into an arrangement to build a hotel, a 5-star hotel in Portsmouth with your passport money? Know that the hotel is not going to cost any more than $80 million US dollars, but provide 800 of your passports to go out at $220,000 per passport, so that the people that have to build a hotel that is only going to cost no more than $80 million can have $180 million of your money, the people's money. Is that man concerned about you, or is he concerned about himself and his friends, especially those overseas? So look at what is happening now. They had so much more money from the sale of your passports that they needed to build a hotel. So they share up the money among themselves. Two men from overseas walked away with 60 million US dollars, or 163 million EC dollars. 163 million EC dollars, or $81.5 million for each of them. And as if that wasn't enough, there's another gentleman, one of our ambassadors at the UN, an Italian gentleman, Mr. Zampoli. He says he wants his share, and his share is 5% of the development profit. And what he's looking for is $7.5 million US. 7.5 million US dollars is 20.4 million EC dollars. So between these three gentlemen, your passport money is putting over $180 million in their pocket on one project in Portsmouth, hand delivered to them by Roosevelt Skerrit, yet he tells us he loves Dominicans. It is not Dominicans you love, it is yourself and what you can get out of Dominicans that you are interested in, and you are using your friends in foreign to take our money so that they can do what they want with it, and they can bankroll your elections, so you can go with 200 people on a ferry to Antigua for an election campaign of Dominica in Antigua. And you can be going all around Dominica with the people's money, offering them 500 there, 1,000 over there, 10,000 here, 15,000 over there, 2,000 here. Cool out money, it's called. Every single cent of cool out money being paid by the Labour Party in this election season does not belong to anybody in the Labour Party, does not belong to Roosevelt Skerrit. That is your money. That money belongs to the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And in 2019, let me tell you a secret. They can say what they want about Dominicans. They can say what they want about labor rights. They can say what they want about freedom rights. they can say what they want about workers. What I know about Dominicans is that Dominicans have gone past the stage where anybody can take their own money from them and give it back to them in little pieces and seek to control them and enslave them to their will. It's not going to happen. That is why we stand. Fear no more. Your vote is secret. Nobody knows where you're going to cast your vote. And all the people that are making you scared, all the people that want you to fear them, all the people that want you to enslave yourself to their will, and they want to do that using your money, tell them quietly in the silence of your soul, I have news for you, it ain't happening. And you know why I'm so happy tonight? I am happy because I am seeing enough people in front of me to make sure that we have change in this country. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. So let me tell you now what is going to happen, or what has been happening since the Kempinski Hotel down there delivered $60 million US, $160 million to two people. Some people in the government appear to have gotten wise as to the amount of money that can be under their control from the people's passports. So earlier tonight, and over the past couple of weeks, you've been hearing about this special housing option to get citizenship that is operating through a company called Montreal Management Company. We started asking the question in the parliament. We did not receive an answer in the parliament to where our $1.2 billion have gone. Up till now, the question has not been answered. But it is not an issue anymore. The issue is not whether the money was picked up from the sale of passports. Mr. Skerritt agrees that if he had put it in the budget would not be $1 billion, it would be 2.2 billion. And if you do the math, you take 2.2 billion and you subtract 1 billion from it, you are left with 1.2 billion. That is his estimation of the amount of money he has caused not to be in the treasury and to be somewhere else. He has to account for it. Because there are too many people suffering in Dominica. And there are too many good uses to which our $1 billion can be put. Our $1.2 billion can be put. For starters, everybody in Lago here tonight, if they were to find me that $1.2 billion and bring it here, if we start to share it among everybody here, everybody would become getting home with somewhere in the region of $40,000 to $50,000. Everybody. You see the kind of money that we're joking with? And one man has it under his control and he doesn't want to account for it. We grew up in a Christian society that says don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. And don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal is important to the quality of governance and the integrity of governance that will serve us well in the future. You cannot have a liar, you cannot have a cheat, you cannot have a thief running the affairs of government, because you will end up in these circumstances where they cannot account for your $1.2 billion, where they're giving their friends hundreds of millions of dollars while they're coming to you with peanuts and seeking to buy you and enslave you with peanuts. Our forefathers, Bala Kongore, fought for our freedom. They fought for us to live in this time as free, independent human beings. And you should not allow anybody to take that freedom from you. Nobody should compromise your independence to the point where you feel you're not able to speak, that they have you sitting down quiet in some corner, even though They are doing so many things to injure your interest and the public interest of Dominica. So tonight, we stand mindful of the work ahead of us. Tonight we say, Roosevelt's Carrot has until the 20th day of September to tell us where our money is. This is a man who has been finance minister for 15 years. This is a man who has sat on the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union for 15 years. And you want to tell me he cannot give us a simple one-page report about our passport money that was picked up from his housing option? He cannot tell us how much money was in the account at the start of the year, how much money came in during the year, how much money was spent, and how much money remained at the end of the year. That is all we are asking for. And how many people got citizenship because in the Gazette we saw 3,961 people getting citizenship of Dominica or getting passports from Dominica for a 5-month period. So if almost 4,000 people were getting citizenship for 5 months, for 12 months the figure would be closer to 9,000-10,000 people. We need to know, we need to have confirmation of these numbers, and we need to know what has happened to our money. It's a serious business. And no amount of cursing Lennox Linton, no amount of calling his name will prevent Dominicans from demanding accountability for their $1.2 billion. C'est pas l'argent, c'est l'argent pour Malawi, Dominic. It's not your money. No, he can call my name. That's all right, it's a good name. It's a lovely name, Lennox Linton.